Good morning, everybody. You guys are all super quiet. Half of you in Shavasana already. We're not there yet. We will be soon, though. Okay. So, a couple of things coming up. Bring a Friend Week, which is one of my favorite things that we do at the studio, is coming up next week. So, December 14th to the 28th, you can bring anybody you want as many times as you want to as many different classes as you want for the whole week, and it's all for free. So even if you want to bring more than one friend, or you want to bring a child or a niece or nephew or somebody like that, and then other friends, you're welcome to do that too. Like any combination you can think of, they're free. So now they have no excuse not to come to the studio with you. So if you have questions about that after class, let me know. And then next Saturday, the 13th, I'll be teaching community class, which is 11:30 to 12:30. And normally that class is for our Africa Yoga Project, but we are doing a special one this time to honor Caleb and his fundraiser a week away, which is for families who are battling cancer. So all of the funds that we create from that class will go to a week away. So if you have questions about that or about Caleb Walker or anything that he had going on, let me know after class and we can talk about that too. Let's get started in Child's Pose. Feet together, knees nice and wide, and spread your fingers out wide. Give your body a chance to loosen up in the warmth. A chance to sink down towards the floor. So there's that space when you initially land in Child's Pose and your body's kind of in the shape of Child's Pose, and then a few breaths in where your body drops into Child's Pose. And then your heart sinks toward the floor and your hips get a little bit heavier. Drop into that space. So you arrive, and all of that extra stuff that you have going on off your mat gets put to the side for just a little while so you can tap into what's going on inside. Start to create a loud breath, long inhales and loud exhales so everyone else around you can hear your breath. So I can hear your breath, so even Noelle out there in the lobby can hear your breath. Loud, powerful exhales. So you have the heat warming you from the outside in, and then your breath can warm you from the inside out, so everything is really easy to move through space. And spread your fingers out wide at the head of your mat and take downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back. Move around any way you need to. Pedal out your feet and shake your head out, yes and no. Lots of breath, right from the start, lots of breath. Then bring your feet to mat width distance apart. Come up onto your tippy toes on an inhale and sink your heels to the right on an exhale. So your feet are in line, one in front of the other, blade edge and blade edge. And if you want a little bit more stretch in your sideways, you can come onto your fingertips on your left hand. So it's one long stretch from your fingertips all the way up to your hip. Come back through center and drop your heels the opposite way. And same idea, if you're looking for a little bit more, fingertips on your right hand. So you're still sending your hips way up and back, so it's a long stretch on the right side of your body. And come back to center and sink your heels down. Send your right leg up to the sky. Heel towards your butt, open your hip. Make a lot of space. You can roll your ankle around if you want, wake up your foot. More breath, and press your right palm way down into the ground. Slow and mindful. You can stay here or flip your dog. Not a really huge back bend. You're just waking your body up, getting your joints moving. Reach through your fingertips. It's like you're yawning open your chest, yawning open your body. Flip back over, downward facing dog. And send your left leg up to the sky. Heel towards your butt, open your hip. Wake up your foot. Send all your weight back into your hips so your heart can sink further to the floor. Yeah, then if you want to, flip your dog. So space is there for you to reach through your fingertips and really connect your feet to the ground. Wake it all up. Lots of room in your shoulders. Beautiful. Flip back over, downward facing dog. And take a long breath in through your nose. Let it out through your mouth. Then move forward, feet to hands. Halfway lift, lengthen out your spine. Pause on your halfway lift. Now soften your knees and put your hands on something. So your thighs or your shins. maybe even all the way up by your hips, and send your tailbone to the back of the room. So this whole class, every time you land in halfway lift, you've got a super long spine and your low belly that pulls in and up to support your low back. One more inhale, get even longer, then hang in ragdoll. Keep the softness in your knees. So you can grab hand to elbow, make a box with your arms if you want, or sway side to side, whatever feels right. And get really heavy in your feet, heavy in your big toes, heavy in your pinky toes, all the way down into the floor. Then release your hands down, and with soft knees, press into your feet and rise all the way up to standing. Use your feet. Reach through your fingertips and bring your thumbs to your heart. Set an intention for your practice. Choose something big this morning. Like you're going to take a risk in your practice, and it may be in just one pose, and it may be your entire practice. You're taking a risk. You're going for something bigger, something bolder. And we'll sound out all those intentions with 3 ohms. Take a deep breath in. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, lengthen your spine, soft knees. Awesome. Step back, high plank, hold your plank. Lots of breath here right from the start. Now, odds are you can probably walk your toes back a little bit more so your heels are stacked over the balls of your feet. Yeah, now zip your low belly in and up. Hug it into the front side of your spine. Keep breathing. Lots of breath. Create a little valley between your shoulder blades, like your heart's going to reach forward even though your heels are reaching back. One more breath here. Lower all the way to the mat. Elbows hug your ribs. Cobra or upward facing dog. Peel your chest up. Downward facing dog. Lift your hips. Breathe in together. Breathe out. Yeah, loud breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. Sink your heels down towards the floor. Take one more breath in. Empty all the way out. Move forward to the head of your mat. Halfway lift. Lengthen belly in. Fold down. Rise up to standing. A big long inhale. Up to your fingertips. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Lengthen soft knees. High to low plank or lower all the way to the floor. Upward facing dog. Lift your chest. Downward facing dog, lift your hips. Breathe in together. Breathe out. Really purposeful breath. In and out. One more. Fill yourself up. Expand all the way. Then empty all the way out. And move forward, feet to hands. Halfway lift. Get long. Fold down. Rise to standing. Big inhale. Lift your chest. Forward fold. Halfway lift, stretch out. Chaturanga, low push-up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 3 big breaths, make it happen. Press your thumbs down way into the floor. Take one more big breath together. Empty out together, and step or jump to the head of your mat. Halfway lifts. Fold down. Rise to standing. Last on A. Lift your heart up and back this time. Baby back bend. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Lengthen. Chaturanga. Keep halfway lift as that pose. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breath in together. Breath out. Soften your knees and send your tailbone further back. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more. Fill all the way up. Empty all the way out. Step or jump. Halfway lift, shoulder blades together. Fold down. Chair pose for 1 breath. Sit back and reach. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Each pose is punctuated. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right foot warrior 1. Step through. Use your inhale to rise all the way up to the ceiling. Chaturanga, hands to the floor. Keep breathing, make it loud. Upward facing, downward facing. Left foot, step through. Rise up, reach up. High to low plank. Upward facing, full inhale, pull your belly in. Downward facing dog. Breath in, breath out. Yeah, move around a little bit if you need to. Breathe in, breathe out. One more, fill yourself up. Empty all the way out, then jump to the head of your mat. Halfway lifts, fold down. Chair pose, sit back, lift your toes. Forward fold. Halfway lifts, chaturanga. Get in a rhythm, sync up with the person next to you. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Right foot warrior one. Plant your foot on the ground and reach high to low. Upward facing, downward facing. Step your left foot through. Just get lost in a rhythm. Smooth movement, hands high, chaturanga. One breath at a time. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Breathe in together, breathe out. Even louder, breathe in. Exhale. Yeah, one more in, fill up. Empty all the way out. Step or jump. Halfway lifts. Fold down. Chair pose, one breath. Lift your heart. Forward fold. Halfway lifts. Chaturanga. The breath is there. Make it happen. Upward facing. Breathe in. Downward facing. Breathe out. Right foot on empty step and then rise up on your inhale. Let the breath carry you. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left foot, step through. Constant fluid movement. Hands high. Chaturanga. Beautiful. Upward facing. Downward facing. And then we all land in downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Breathe out together. Step or jump. Let's get moving. Halfway lift. Lengthen. Fold down. Chair pose a little bit deeper. Reach and fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Keep the smooth rhythm. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right foot warrior one. Step and rise up. Pull your low belly into it. Chaturanga. Beautiful. Keep breathing. Upward facing. Downward facing. Opposite foot. Step through and rise. Reach through your fingertips. High to low. Up dog. Big breath. Fill up. Down dog. Empty out. One breath in, one breath out, and jump to the head of your mat. Are you warm yet? Halfway lifts, fold down. Chair pose, Utkatasana, fire it up. Forward fold. Halfway lifts, chaturanga. Powerful breath will take you there. Build endurance, upward facing, downward facing. Right foot warrior one, step, hands up, heart up and back this time to the person behind you, chaturanga. Inhale up, exhale down. Left foot, step through. You've got this. Just move with your body. Out of your head, hands to the floor, chaturanga. In your body. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Right foot warrior one. Step again. Rise up. Just go. Don't even think about it. Just move, chaturanga. Keep your breath flowing. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Left foot, step and rise. In your body, the muscle and bone, chaturanga. Beautiful. Upward facing, belly in. Downward facing, pull it back. Right foot warrior one. Go yogis, go. Rise up, reach up. Chaturanga. Keep breathing. Up dog, wide open chest. Downward facing dog. Left foot, step and go. Big toe in the floor. High to low. Beautiful. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more. Right foot. Step. You got this. Last one. Way up and back this time. Big warrior one. Chaturanga. Upward facing. Downward facing. Left foot. Last warrior one. Scoop your heart up to the ceiling. Chaturanga. Whoo. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Rest. Good morning. Take a breath in through your nose. Sigh it out. Make it even louder. Breathe in through your nose and sigh. Yeah, really let go. Breathe in. Breathe out. Step or jump, feet to hands. Halfway lifts. Fold down. Chair pose and pause. Sit way down in your chair. Down, down, down. Send your tailbone to the back edge of your mat and then knit your ribs together on the front side of your body so your whole spine gets long. Sit a little bit deeper. Shoulder blades into your back. One more breath. Reach. Fold. Halfway lifts. High to low plank. Know that you can always skip the chaturanga and go straight to down dog. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Send your right leg into the air. Long leg behind you. Then flex your foot a lot, like you're going to leave a footprint on the back of the room. Now knee to nose. Coil it in and squeeze your low belly in and up. Press your foot back. Inhale, get long. Knee to nose. Hug it way in. Last time. Press your foot back. Flex foot. Knee to nose. Squeeze it in. Hover. Stay here. Keep breathing. Shin way up. Lift it up a little bit higher. A little bit higher. Crescent lunge. So on the ball of your back foot. Then pause with your hands on your hips to start so you can work on what's going on in the foundation of your pose first. So heel of your back foot over the ball of your back foot. Draw it forward. Draw your left hip forward. And then use your hands on your pelvis to see if your low belly is dumping out and pull it in so your tailbone can go straight down. Now send your hands to the sky. So you're just checking in. You're building your pose from the ground up. Every pose you start that way with what's touching the ground, then work your way up your body. Now start with your breath again, because it got a little quiet. Just bring it back in. Then root your front big toe way down into the ground. Beautiful. Hands to heart center. Twist to the left. Or to the right, sorry. If I could tell, I'm like, what's going on in here? Twist to the yellow wall. So left elbow outside your knee, and you can stick with palm to palm or open your arms. I like to pause at palm to palm just for a moment so I can get my spine really long and then take the full expression of the pose. So it just goes step by step. Press your left hamstring way up to the sky like there's a hand on the back of your leg and you want to resist it. So even if I press down on your leg, it wouldn't go anywhere. Now breathe. Shoulder blade way down into your back here. Come back up here like this, Debbie. Yeah, and then slide it down from there. Beautiful. More breath. Low belly in. You just stay and breathe. Let the work happen and breathe. Come up to crescent lunge on an inhale. Reach your hands up high. High to low plank. Hands to the floor. It's a chaturanga kind of Sunday. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Breathe out together. And send your left leg up to the sky. So more breath you build in your practice, the more effortless your practice becomes because you're riding your breath instead of just pushing really hard. Inhale and lengthen your leg. Exhale, knee to nose. Squeeze it way in, round your spine. Press your foot back. Inhale, long, long, long. Knee to nose. Lift your low belly into the front side of your spine. One more time, press back. Knee to nose, squeeze it in as much as you can and pause, round, totally easy, at ease, step, crescent lunge. So when you start, hands on your hips and you check it out, get your feet in the right spot, and then notice, is your low belly dumping onto your thigh, and can you use your hands to tip your tailbone down towards the floor? So it'll feel like your fingertips and your thumbs are level with each other when you've got your pelvis in the right place. For a lot of you, that means tip your thumbs down, hands up to the sky. And then you can do the fine tuning. So maybe you play around a little bit with your feet or you lunge a little bit deeper. You're fine tuning your pose. So there's never a point where it's absolutely stopped. Little micro movements the whole time. Hands to heart center. Now twist to the left. The other side, that makes sense. And then make length with your palms together. Then open your arms. One step at a time. You start from the bottom and work your way all the way up. Press your whole front foot way down into the ground, especially your heel, so that your toes can get a break and your heel does more work. Yeah, more breath. It gets heavy and really challenging when you don't breathe. Yeah, low belly in and up, off your thighs. Keep breathing. You're almost there. Lots of work to be done. Top shoulder down into your back. Yes, come back up to crescent lunge on an inhale. Lift up high. Chaturanga, hands to the floor. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Let's do lion's breath. Stick out your tongue on your exhale. Breathe in together. Yeah, let out an extra heat. Breathe in. One more, fill up. Crescent lunge. Step right into it, rise up. Scoop your tailbone towards the front of the room, hands up to the sky. Nice. Now bend your elbows and take cactus arms. Cactus arms. Stack your back heel over the ball of your back foot and then check in with your pinky toe. Press it into the floor. Now bend your back knee so much that your knee just barely hovers above the ground. Long, long spine. Yeah, straighten out your leg. Long spine. Lift yourself up. Again, bend your knee. Hover, hover, hover. Tailbone straight down. Rise back up. Straighten your leg. One more time. Bend your knee. Hover. It's just about to kiss your mat. Straighten your leg. Warrior two. Open up to the purple wall. Your shoulder blades stay together on your back. And then notice if your knee is going a different direction than your front toes. For a lot of you, you're going to have to turn your foot just a little bit towards the upper left corner of the room so they're in line. And then lunge deep. Knee on top of your ankle, come back into your breath. Yeah, everybody take a breath in through your nose. Let it out through your mouth. Yeah, there it is. Okay, settle down into your feet. Now powerful breath. Long inhales, long exhales. Flip your front palm, reach forward, reverse the warrior. Reach way up and back. Wrap your left arm around your back, and then you can use your forearm to kind of feel where your pelvis is in space. Tip your tailbone down towards the ground, and then lunge a little bit deeper. So when it comes to taking risk in your practice, it doesn't have to be something that's like way over the top, like some crazy pose. It could be staying in a pose longer than you've ever done just to see what's on the other side. A little bit deeper than you've ever gone just to see what happens. Now reach up and back and straighten your front leg. It's super long. Back to warrior two. Extended side angle. Elbow to your thigh or fingertips to a block at your front arch. It's nice to use a block so you've got extra space. So send your left hand straight up to the sky, straight up to the rafters, so you can drop your shoulder blade down into your back. Yeah, now add a lot of breath. Just notice that it got quiet. Be the one that restarts it. Take your top arm behind your back for a half bind around the outside of your hip, and then check in there. Can you point your tailbone towards your back heel? Tuck it way down. Nice, Chrissy, right there. Peel your chest open a little bit more, and then bottom arm under your front thigh for the whole bind. So you can definitely use a towel or a strap to get there, and you're experimenting with that. Peel your chest open as best you can, but if it feels like your chest is facing the floor when you've got the whole bind, then just stick with the half bind and go for space instead. Now your legs are working a lot. Use your low belly to help them out. Pull it way in and up, and then you've got 2 more breaths here. Light, easy breaths. Then hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Breathe out. Big breath in, fill up. Long, easy breath, and empty all the way out. One more, fill yourself up. Exhale completely. Left foot crescent lunge. Step and rise up. So set yourself up. What's touching the ground, then work your way up. All the way up. Tailbone straight down to the ground, and then cactus arms on this side. Pull your belly in so your spine gets as long as it can possibly be. Now bend your right knee and hover it just above the mat. Pull your right hip forward. Straighten your leg. Add breath into it. Make it easier. Bend your knee. Hover it above the ground. Too easy. Don't too hard. Straighten your leg. Beautiful. One more time. Bend your knee. Hover, hover, hover. Belly in. Straighten your leg. Warrior two. Face the yellow wall. So again, you check in. You're fine-tuning your pose. Odds are your knee is not going straight forward to the brick, so it can go a little bit in. And then you turn your foot to go a little bit in to match it. Now lunge deep and bring your breath into it. There's a space in your practice after you've been doing a lot of work where it becomes less about, everything's working all at the same time really hard, and more about let it soften. Let your body soften. Lunge a tiny bit deeper. Then flip your front palm, reach forward and reverse. Because if you squeeze everything and make it all work really hard all the time, you'll get tired really fast. The ease in the breath makes it easier to keep going. Big toe in the mat, your front big toe, way down into the ground. Now reach up and back and straighten your front leg, get long. Warrior 2 to extended side angle. Right arm straight up to the sky so you've got space. Send your tailbone to the back edge of your mat, right in line with your heel. Nice, just knit right here, beautiful. Top arm behind your back, half bind, so nothing changes about your spine. Tailbone still points to your back heel. Then full bind if it's there for you. So maybe today is the day that you take that risk. You just experiment with what that's gonna feel like. And a strap or a towel between your fingertips definitely gives you some more space to work with that. Now breathe, land in your pose and breathe. What's doing too much work? Can you send your breath there and soften it just a little bit? You've got 2 more breaths, loud breaths. Then hands to the floor, chaturanga. Awesome, upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your mouth. Nice loud exhales. Breathe in. Yeah, one more, fill up. Step or jump, feet to hands. Halfway lifts. Fold down. Chair pose, sit back and reach. Send your tailbone to the back edge of your mat instead of the back of the room so your low back has lots of space. Now hands to heart center, twist to the right. Stick with palm to palm for a breath or two so you can really reach the crown of your head forward and your tailbone back. And then when you've got all that length, open your arms. One piece at a time. Add more breath. Really long in both side waists, especially your left side waist. Like your armpits reaching away from your hip. Beautiful. Breathe a little bit louder, sit an inch deeper. Yes. Come back up to chair pose on one breath. Reach up. Forward fold, let it go. Separate your feet hip width distance and take your first 2 fingers around your big toes. Soften your knees a lot and lengthen out to a halfway lift. So your knees are bent. Draw your heart straight forward like you want to touch it to the bricks, and then bring your heart towards your shins. So you've got tons of length in your spine. Let your head hang, let your neck hang. You can let your stomach rest on your thighs if you want. Restart your breath from here while you have the opportunity. You just notice that it left and you bring it back. Now release your hands and take crow pose at the head of your mat. Spread your fingers out wide, tuck your knees way up into your armpits, so the tinier of a ball you make, the lighter your body gets. Pull everything into your midline and make a tiny little ball. Now lift your feet up towards your butt and wake up your toes. So your entire body's involved in your crow pose right now. Beautiful, keep breathing. You've got 2 more breaths, and just because you can, you're gonna shoot your legs back to chaturanga like you've always done it. It's just what you do now. Shoot your legs back, chaturanga, yes. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Big breath in, fill up. Empty out. Stick with that rhythm. One more in, fill yourself up. Empty all the way out. Step or jump to the head of your mat. Halfway lifts. Fold down. Chair pose. Like it's your favorite pose and you're super stoked that we get to be on this side too. Yeah. So excited about chair pose. Belly way in. Lift your heart up a little more like your heart's gonna reach out through the windows. Yes, and then compensate for that with your hips sit lower. Nice. Hands to heart center, twist left. So you pause with palm to palm and really lengthen out your spine and then open your arms. Because the longer you get your spine, the more twist you create in your body. Really long spine and then twist. Then you inhale and lengthen more and twist. Awesome. Keep your weight back in your heels and send your tailbone reaching to the back edge of your mat. Turn a little bit more, Tim, right there. Yes. Now come back up to chair pose on an inhale. Lift your heart up. Forward fold. Separate your feet and step on your palms for gorilla. So bend your knees a lot and get your toes all the way up to your wrists. And you can stretch out into a little mini halfway lift if you want to, and then draw yourself further down. But keep a bend in your knees. So the space you want to make is your tailbone up to the ceiling. It's a really subtle thing. So it's not necessarily about straightening your legs. It's about tipping your tailbone up. Lots of breaths. Shake out your head, yes and no. Yeah, let it go. Now release your hands and go for another crow. It's your second opportunity. Just jump back like you've always done that. It's possible. It's possible right now. So take your mind out of it and all those extra thoughts telling you why you can or why whatever, all those other excuses, because your body's showing you that you can right now. You're already there. It's already happening right now. Feet up towards your butt, super light. Shoot your legs back, chaturanga. Awesome. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Come down to hero's pose, down onto your knees. In fact, let's do toes pose. So your knees are down on the ground, then tuck your toes and sit back on your heels. Let's get you off your shoulders for a minute. So hi, hero. Sit tall. You can take a drink or wipe your sweat. The sweat will keep happening, though, just so you know. So toes are tucked, super tall spine. Point your tailbone straight to the ground. So here's another place where you can check in with your hands on your hips. Is the front side of your pelvis dipping down, or can you tuck your tailbone and pull your low belly in? Now send your right hand up to the sky and your left hand behind your back for a cow's head bind. So you want to grab your fingertips, and if you can't quite reach, you can just hold on to your shirt or have a strap or a towel between your hands to create more distance. So a long, tall spine. So even with this bind here, the spine is still really long. Pull your ribs together. Yeah. Think about your right elbow slowly bringing its way straight up to the ceiling. Your toes will not fall off, I promise. They're going to feel awesome after class. Release your bind, shake out your arms and switch sides. We're still in toes pose. Left arm up top, right arm behind your back. You're almost there. So strap or towel, set yourself up, and then sink everything into the middle. You're integrating your torso, ribs together, tailbone straight down. Nice. Bring breath into it. Especially if your toes are talking to you. Talk back with your breath. It's okay, toes. You're going to be awesome. It's going to feel so great. Release your arms. Shake out your shoulders. Come forward on your hands and knees and release your feet. Move them around. Wiggle your toes. You can bang them on your mat if you want. That helps me. Yeah. Okay, flat feet on the earth. Sit back on your heels. Tall spine. Back on your heels. So you can stay right here. If you've got a lot of information going on the tops of your feet, awesome. Stay here at the tall spine. You want a little bit more, lean back on your hands so your knees come off the ground. So there's not a specific height that your knees come off the ground. It can be like an inch. It could be a little bit higher. You're stretching out the tops of your feet, those muscles that we almost never use because your feet are in shoes all the time. Unless you live here like I do, and then you don't have feet in shoes all the time, but you get the idea. Way back. And the last piece here is to lean back and pull your belly in, then hands to heart center and balance with your knees off the ground. Yeah, it's tricky. Play around with it. You're like, oh, I can do that. Wait a minute, what's happening? Hands to heart center, belly in, tailbone straight down. Downward facing dog. Good stuff for your feet. Reset in your downward facing dog. Connect your fingertips to the floor. Sink your heels down towards the ground. That's like your new favorite thing, right? I know. Take a breath in through your nose. Let it out through your mouth. Restart the breath. Long inhale. Long exhale. Send your hips way back. Take one more breath in. And empty all the way out. And step or jump to the head of your mat. Halfway lift. Hold down. Rise all the way up to standing. Reach through your fingertips and take eagle pose on the right. Right arm under, right leg over. So So if you've got tight shoulders, your option is to put your palms on opposite shoulder instead of wrapping your forearms. Sit way down in your hips. So you've got imaginary hands on your hips right now, and it's tipping your pelvis so your tailbone goes way down and your low belly pulls way in. Now start breathing. Got all that working for you. Your body's fine-tuning itself. You get to focus on your breath. Beautiful. Press your left big toe way down into the ground, and then like you're moving underwater in slow motion, move to airplane. Send your right leg back. So much time to get there. So you've got time to flex your foot. You've got time to unravel your arms and squeeze your shoulder blades together on your back when you reach back. Awesome. Lots of breath. So you do work, and you have your breath involved, and then you've got all kinds of time and space to do whatever you want in your body. It's all there and available for you. Bring your hands to heart center, nice and slow. We're still going slow. Half moon, super slow. Open up to the yellow wall. So your left hand has like hours to get down to your block or to your water bottle. Right hand has just as much time to reach up. Nice. So moving slow gives you the opportunity to integrate every single part of your body and really land here in what's going on. Flex your lifted foot a little more. Send your tailbone towards your lifted heel, way back. One more inhale. Open up. Reach, reach, reach. Forward fold. Shake it out. You guys even came out slow. That was great. Rise up to standing. Reach through your fingertips. Left side eagle. Left arm under, left leg over. Coil and then create breath. Eyes attached to one spot and breath, super simple. So when your mind pulls you out and it feels like this is super hard or there's a lot going on, that's your mind talking to you. That's not your body. Your body's doing great right now. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do right now. Slow motion airplane. Unravel, coil the muscle into the bone and send your left leg behind you. Unravel your arms and send them back. Awesome. So you've got time. Then if you start to lose your balance a little bit, there's still time while you transition to catch it. Belly in and turn the outer edge of your left hip down. Square hips toward the floor. Good. Hands to heart center, just as slow, half moon. You've got time. You are strong enough. You have enough endurance. Everything you need is already here. It's already happening. Flex your left foot way up to the ceiling. Like there's a string tied to it and it's slowly pulling straight up. Beautiful. Take one more inhale. Reach through your fingertips. Forward fold. Let it go. Rock it out. Rise up to standing. Reach through your fingertips. Right side eagle, second set. Same slow, deliberate movement. You're training your body to take its time and do one thing at a time. Eyes on one spot, come back to your breath. So every time you think, I just need to take a break, I just need to step out, just stay and see what happens. Take that risk. Keep your eyes attached to your focal point, left hand on left hip, right hand on your right raised knee, standing leg raise. Unwind, stand up really tall, tailbone down towards your standing heel. Now pull your right thigh bone back into the socket, and open up your knee to the right and reach to the left. Slow and deliberate. So you've got time to balance. You've got time to make an adjustment and drop your right hip down like a half inch. Yes, awesome adjustments. Flex your lifted foot. Beautiful. Slow, deliberate. Come back to center. Left hand on your raised knee or your foot. Reach your right arm behind you for dancing Shiva. The slow movement creates all this integration in your core. Pull your low belly in so much that you can let go of your knee right now or your foot and it would stay right where it is. Yeah. Stays right where it is. Lots of in and up action. Come back to center, hands on hips, knee stays high. Full breath in. Press your foot forward. Inhale your knee up, tall spine, and press. One more, knee up. Send your foot straight forward. Place your foot down. Hands up to the sky. Left side eagle. Left arm under, left leg over. So you just keep going. You come up against this edge where you're like, ugh, I don't want to do this anymore. You just keep going. Just go. You'll break through it. Breathe. Light with breath, easy with breath. Right hand on right hip, left hand on your left raised knee. Stand tall. Suck in your low belly. Suck that thigh bone back into the socket. Open to the left and reach to the right. You've got time to fine tune. Can you drop your left hip down just a little bit, so your hips are even. Slow and steady, back through center, switch hands. Reach your left arm behind you, dancing Shiva. Your spine can grow taller right now. Drive your foot into the ground and lift your spine up a little more. And then you can get light on holding your knee or your foot because your low belly's so engaged. Come back to center, hands on your hips. Knee stays high, breathe in. Press it forward, breathe out. Almost there, knee up, breathe in and press. One more, pull it way in, send it straight forward, place your foot down. Shake out your hips if you need to. Standing bow or dancer's pose. If you need a strap, I've got plenty of them. If you're thinking about grabbing a strap, then that means that you're ready for dancer's pose and you should grab a strap. Yeah, if you're thinking about it. If you're thinking about it, you might as well, right? You're already here, you're already sweaty, might as well. Standing bow, make sure the soft crease of your elbow faces outward. All right. Grab the inside of your ankle. So everybody's working on two alignment things here. Your outer edge of your right hip towards the floor and your knee straight to the back of the room. Take your pose. And bring a lot of breath into the room so your pose can get light. When you don't breathe, this pose is really heavy and all your weight feels like it's pressing down on your left hip. When you breathe and pull in, everything lifts up and gets effortless and light. Totally weightless in space. One more breath. Release. Flow to the left side. Before your mind can tell you, I just need to take a break right now, you just go to the next side. Because you can take a break while you're moving. You can take a break while you're in your pose because you just bring yourself back. You shake off whatever's going on and be here. Flex your foot up to the ceiling, outer edge of your left hip down. A little bit more, down, down, down. Yep. Beautiful. Now one more inhale, expand your chest, release. Right side, second set, flow into it. Don't even give your mind the opportunity to be like, oh, you need a drink of water right now. You definitely need to go pee right now. You should probably do that. You just stay. You just stay and do the work. You take the risk of being here and doing the work. 2 more breaths. All you've got for 2 breaths, then left side. Into it and go. Soft crease of your elbow out or you switch the strap. Soften your standing knee and press your right big toe into the ground so the stability of the ground can travel up to the rest of your pose. When your knee's locked, it cuts that off. Keep breathing. One more huge inhale, full expression. Release. Feet at the head of your mat if they're not there already. Take right side tree pose. Tree pose is your pause. Right foot above or below your knee. Hands start at your heart. So pause here with your hands at your heart. Catch up with your breath. Choose a focal point if your mind's taking you somewhere else. And take your pose. Send your hands wherever you want to go. You choose. Overhead, behind your back. Something fancy. You do whatever you want. But everyone breathes. Because you never know when your breath is helping somebody else out in the room who may be having a tough time right now. And then they can breathe loud the next time you're in here having a tough time and they can support you. One more inhale, lift up tall, release. Switch sides. Right into it. Hands start at heart center. Give yourself a pause so you can fill your whole body up with your breath. The whole thing gets light. Send your hands up and out. How's your pelvis doing? Can you send your tailbone straight down? Check back in with it. Because you can certainly do a little baby back bend and lift your chest up and back, but your tailbone still points to the ground, even there. Big inhale. Release. Big toes touch at the head of your mat. Space between your heels. Inhale, reach your hands high. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, lengthen, long spine, soft knees. Step back, high to low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Breathe out. Huge inhale. Empty out. Send your thigh bones back. One more breath. Let it all the way out. Jump through to sit. Come into staff pose. Tall, straight spine. Squeeze your inner thighs together a lot. And if you have a block, you can put a block between your calves on the way down. Remind you to squeeze everything in. So flex feet like you're going to touch your feet on the bricks and reach your arms forward and lower to the mat. If you've got a block, squeeze in. If you don't, squeeze in anyway. We've always got extra blocks to borrow up here if you guys need them before or after class. All right, bridge pose. Bend your knees and plant your feet on the earth. You can put the block between your thighs now and squeeze onto your block. 2 flat feet on the earth. Rise up. Lift your hips, your low back, all the way up to your shoulders and interlace your fingers at your low back. Tuck your shoulder heads underneath you. Way underneath you. Craig, squeeze in on that. Good. And then bring your feet closer towards you. Like walk them back. Oh, there you go. Big toes down into the mat. How's your breath doing? Go for a lift in your chest more so than in your hips. Lift your heart way up to the ceiling. Take one more breath. Wide open chest. Release. Lower your hips down. Take your knees side to side. Go for another bridge without the block. Feet in the mat. Lift yourself up. So it's like there's a block there. You're using your inner thighs to hug in. Take your bind. You can interlace your fingers at your low back, or you can take cactus arms here too. Bent elbows and rest your hands on the ground. Then work your shoulder heads underneath you in cactus arms. Yeah. So you've been working on tailbone towards your knees. Make that action happen now. Bring your right knee into your chest. Right foot up to the sky. So right leg's in the air. What's going on in your left leg? Press your left big toe down. Lift your hips up a little higher because you use your left foot. Then knee into your nose. Place your foot down. Left knee into your chest. Left foot up to the sky. Now your right foot's the one doing the action. Press it down a lot so you can lift your hips just a little bit more. Knee to nose. Foot on the earth. Release. Lower your hips. Knee side to side. Oh. Okay, so stick with bridge or move on to wheel. Everyone in here is ready for a wheel, so you can at least attempt wheel. Send your hands up to the sky. Flex your wrists and tuck your fingertips underneath your shoulders. So I want you to come up just to the crown of your head and stop there. Come up to the top of your head. It's like a wheel prep. Now hug your shoulder blades together on your back here. Squeeze them in and then press up to wheel. So you've got a ton of space in your chest. Beautiful. Now 5 big breaths. Go for 5. In your bridge or in your wheel, and you send your tailbone towards your knees. After your 5th breath, tuck your chin and come down. Long breath in together. Long breath out together. Plenty of time. 2nd wheel. Tuck your fingertips. Come up to the top of your head so there's no rush. You're up there and all the weight's in your hands. It's just a suggestion. Your hands barely touching the ground. Now shoulder blades together. Press down and rise up. Beautiful. Let your head be easy. Let your neck be easy. All the lift, all the work, most of it is in your legs. One more breath. Tuck your chin and come down. Breathe in together. Breathe out together. Go up, wheel pose, go up. Fingertips and go. You step into it, get out of your brain and into your body, so you go again and again. And you can just stick with bridge, or you can alternate between bridge and wheel, but you stay in your practice so that you're in the space with everybody else. You're committed to making a contribution. One more breath. Tuck your chin, come down. Breathe in. Breathe out. Go again, rise up. Yeah, when you're at the point where you're like, whoa, I totally don't want to do another one right now, that's when you need to go. It's right now. It's happening right now. Go. Bridge or your wheel. You've got all the tools you need. Tailbone towards your knees and that breath to make it easy and effortless. Press way up. One more inhale. Tuck your chin and come down. Oh, big breath in. Fill up your chest. Be easy. Breathe out. Last one. Go for it. You've got it. One more. Before your mind says no, you just go. Don't listen to your mind. It has too much to say. Rise up. Inner thighs together. Now this is the last one. So you can lift a hand up in the air or a leg up in the air. You can do something crazy. Come up to a handstand. Yeah, it's possible. Anything's possible from right here. Take a huge breath in. Tuck your chin, come down. Resist the urge to hug your knees into your chest just yet. Do Supta Baddha Konasana first. Be here. Soles of the feet together, knees open wide. Because we'll get to the knees into your chest. You want to give your back an opportunity to lengthen back out. Rest your hands wherever they feel comfortable. Commit to your breath right now. Lots of space with your breath. And inhale, that fills up not only your chest, but all the way down into your belly, all the way across your collarbones. And exhales that empty everything out. Squeeze out all that extra stuff that's no longer serving you. It's not doing anything for you. It's just weighing you down. Breathe all that out. Your whole back at ease on the ground. Now draw your knees back to center, hug them into your chest, rock around on your low back. And send your legs straight up into the air. You can tuck your fingertips underneath your butt if you need a little support for your low back. Flex your feet a lot. Press your big toes away, curl your pinky toes back towards your face. Start breathing now. Before you're even doing the abs stuff, get your breath going. And lower your right leg down 30 degrees. Just your right leg. Flex through your feet a lot, like you're going to leave footprints on the front wall. Another 30. More breath. Relax your face. Hover your foot just above the ground and lift your shoulders up. Look at your toes. Press. Leg back up. Use your belly. That was fast. We'll go slower on the other side. Left leg, 30 degrees. Press through your feet a lot. Yeah, another 30. Press, 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 press. Keep breathing. Hover your foot just above the ground. Drive your big toe towards the front of the room. Slowly bring your leg back up. Ooh, much better. Both legs straight up into the air. Right leg down 30 degrees. Press. Another 30. Draw your navel down towards the mat. Hover your foot just above the ground. Lift your shoulders. Get really, really long. Leg back up. Nice. Left side, 30 degrees. You've got this. Keep breathing. Support each other with your breath. Another 30. Keep going. Shoulder blades in the mat. Hover your foot just above the ground. Press. Legs back up in the air. Knees into your chest. Give them a squeeze. Rock back and forth 3 times. Make your way to boat pose. Be excited about boat pose. Be ready for boat pose. Rock back and forth 3 times and start with your hands on the backs of your thighs so you can lift your chest way up. Make your collarbones really wide. Now breathe. Take your arms out to the side like you're going to hug a big tree. Way out to the side. Yeah, like there's a hand behind your heart and it lifts you straight up. One more breath. Back and forth 3 times. boat pose. Back and forth 3 times. Let your whole spine hit the mat, even your low back. And boat. Hands on the backs of your thighs so you can lift everything up and out. And then take your arms out to the side. You're building the structure, a big, powerful boat pose. Squeeze your inner thighs together and breathe. Shaking is good, just breathe. One more inhale. Knees into your chest, back and forth 3 times. You've got one more. The awesome one's about to happen. Yeah, last boat, rise up. Go for it. Powerful. Lift up and out. Powerful breath. Fiery breath. Lift your feet up and flex them. Take one more inhale. Reach. Release. Back and forth. Make your way to downward facing dog. Jump back or step back or vinyasa your way there. Really be in down dog now. Use your low belly, all that strength to lift your hips way up and back. So you send all your weight back and it goes back over your legs instead of in your shoulders and your wrists. Send your right leg way up to the sky. Heel towards your butt, open your hip. Make a lot of space. Come up onto the tippy toes of your left foot. Lift up even higher. Now step your right foot on the outside of your right hand for lizard lunge. Bring it all the way around and step. So you want both arms on the inside of your front leg, and you want your knee right on top of your ankle. So take a look at your ankle, and if it's behind your knee, scoot your foot forward. And to start, everybody has their back knee off the ground. Just to start, we'll get to your knee on the ground. So drive your heel to the back of the room. Just like in crescent lunge, heel straight up, hamstring straight up. Breathe. Zip up your low belly. Listen right here, yeah. Now drop your back knee. Right palm on your right thigh, not on your knee, on your thigh. And look over your right shoulder. Use your hand to press your leg away, like you're going to roll the meat of your thigh around the bone. So your left hand can be on the mat, it can be on a block. So here's a tricky place to pay attention to your pelvis. Send your tailbone straight to the back edge of your mat. So for a lot of you, it feels comfortable to kind of dump out your low belly and let it come down towards the floor. Zip it back up so your whole spine is part of this twist. Reach for your back foot with your right hand. So make sure the space that's touching the ground is just above your knee instead of right on your kneecap. And if it feels like it's on your kneecap, just scoot forward a little bit so it's not. Draw your heel in towards your butt and peel your chest back open. All you, Tim. There you go. A little bit more. Right shoulder blade down your back. Melt it down. Gently release your foot. No slingshots. Downward facing dog. Long breath in. Even longer breath out. Left leg up to the sky. Heel towards your butt. Open your hip. Make a lot of room. Come up onto your tippy toes on your right foot so there's tons of space. Then left foot on the outside of your left hand, lizard lunge. Scoop it all the way around and step. Start with your back knee off the ground and set yourself up. Ankle right underneath your knee. Everything's in line. And then scoot your foot back if you need to get your heel right over the ball of your back foot so your hamstring can stay active. Now bring your breath into it. Bring the ease into it. Squeeze your inner thigh towards your ribs like they're glued together. Now bring your right knee down. Left palm to your left thigh. Press your thigh away. Make sure you're pressing on the meat of your thigh and not on your knee joint. Knees don't like to go side to side. So again, what is going on in your pelvis? Send your tailbone straight back instead of low belly to the floor so your tailbone points to the back wall. Lots of breath. Pulling a little bit more here. Yeah, right there. Reach for your back foot with your right hand or left hand. Whichever hand we didn't just did. Just do. Gosh, I can't talk. Okay. Other side. You can certainly use a strap or a towel on your foot if you find that your foot's a little bit slippy or you can't quite get a good grip on it. Peel your chest open. Left shoulder blade all the way down into your back. Along here. Yeah. Lots of space. Juicy quad stretch. Release your foot with control. Downward facing dog. Take a long breath in through your nose. Let it out. Big breath in, fill up. Empty out. One more, fill all the way up. Exhale completely. And bring your right knee to your right wrist for half pigeon. Right knee to right wrist. If you've got a block, a great place to put it's right underneath your right hip. Then make your way to the floor. Do any adjustments that you need to make. Make sure your knee's in line with your hip. Sometimes it likes to sneak out to the right. So you've got some time while you're in half pigeon to explore all the space that you've just made in your body. So scan from the top of your head all the way to the toes on your back foot, just piece by piece, body part by body part, and see if you're clenching a little bit too tight, like you're doing too much extra work in one of those spaces. And pause there, give it some breath, and then move on to the next space. So even though your body's working, it's also at ease. Every breath gives you the opportunity for more space, for more presence, for anything that you need right now. Downward facing dog, shake it out. Left knee to left wrist, half pigeon. Time to set up, time to create a stable foundation, to get your block in just the right spot if you're using one. And then make your way to the floor. every exhale, let something go. Let a part of your body soften a little bit more so you can sink into the ground. Downward facing dog. Take a long breath in through your nose. Let it out through your mouth. And make your way to sit. Come in a staff pose. Bring your right leg over your left leg so your foot's on the other side of your knee. And hug your shin way into your chest. So you can stay here with your left leg long out in front or bring your heel in towards your butt. Those are your two options. Sit up really tall. Right hand behind you. Send your left arm way up to the sky and then twist. Bring your elbow on the outside of your knee. Wring yourself out. So now's a good time to use your breath to create more twists now that your hips are anchored to the floor. So take an inhale and lift your chest way up. Then on your exhale, twist a little bit more behind you. Every inhale, get really tall, and then exhale, twist. Flex your left toes up to the ceiling. If your foot is extended. Sorry, that was a little confusing. Okay, you've got a couple more breaths. Put your right palm on your low back. Right palm on your low back. Your left hand stays where it is. Now really lift your chest up high and twist a little bit more. One more breath. Lift up and twist, 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 twist. And come back to center. Unwind. Switch sides. Left leg over. Your foot's on the outside of your knee. Then you choose. Your leg is either straight out in front or you can bring your right heel towards your left hip. Hug it in, sit up really tall, and twist towards the purple wall. Left hand behind you to start for some support, like you're leaning back in a lawn chair and you're using it to lift your spine up taller. Good, and then inhale, lengthen, and twist on your exhale. Yeah, you're giving yourself an assist just by having your hips in touch with the ground. You can really ring out that way. Tall, and then twist. And then taller, and twist again. Now left palm on your low back, lift your chest way up and use your low belly here. Pull your navel in. Lift up on an inhale and twist on your exhale. One more, really tall. Lift, twist, come back to center. Both legs straight out in front. Then scoot yourself forward so you're sitting more on the tops of your thighs and you can get your tailbone to point behind you. So you can use your hands to get your butt muscles out of the way. You can even bend your knees, that helps too. Hands straight up to the sky. Fold over your legs. So you've got two options when you fold over your legs. If you fold with a long, straight back, that'll work the muscles in your back. If you round your spine down, that'll work your connective tissue. So you get benefits either way. You just get to pick which one you're going to work on. Then breathe. Long inhales and send your exhales all the way down into your hips. Get really long. And while you're folded, maybe you scoot your tailbone back a little bit more. Rise back up, sit up tall. Reverse tabletop. Plant your palms behind your hips so your fingertips face forward. Then lift your hips off the ground and point your toes to the floor. If that bothers your back, bend your knees and put 2 flat feet on the earth. So use your low belly and send your tailbone towards your heels. You can drop your head back if that feels okay for your neck. Lots of breath. Lift your hips a little bit higher. Yeah. Lower your hips down to the ground and reach your arms straight forward. Now round your spine and lower it to the ground, 1 vertebrae at a time. Your back to the mat, 1 piece at a time. Send your legs straight up into the air for Viparita Karani. A block under your low back is a great way to go, and if you plan on taking shoulder stand, move into plow right now. Move into plow first. And hang out and plow for a couple of breaths. So you're giving yourself time to get your hands on your low back, to get the sides of your pinky fingers to touch. Stable foundation, and then send your legs up to the sky. So you're not trying to mash your neck into the floor, straighten your neck out by any means. It shouldn't even be touching the floor. All the weight should be in your shoulders and the backs of your arms. So if it doesn't feel like that, then come out of shoulder stand and take it again so your neck's got some space. Let everything drain out. Keep your eyes glued to one spot. So even though you're coming towards the end of your practice, you're still in your body, you're still in the space. Shoulder stands, make your way back to plow. Long straight legs, long straight spine. Send your tailbone up to the ceiling. Deaf man's pose, bend your knees and gently squeeze the sides of your head. So you can reach back for your feet or keep your hands on your low back, that's up to you. Then hands to the floor like they're brakes and slowly unravel, piece by piece, back to the ground. Hug your knees into your chest and rock around on your low back. And take happy baby, soles of the feet up to the ceiling. Draw your knees down by the sides of your ribs. Rock back and forth and tap your neighbor. So I know at least one person here is thinking, well, the person next to me is really close, so I don't want to touch him. Sure you do. You're both sweaty. I mean, what's the difference, really? And then go for dead bug and stillness. Same pose, just still. Bring your knees into your chest, give them a squeeze. Now cross your right leg over your left, so your knees are crossed instead of your ankle. Right leg over your left. Then take your knees over to the purple wall and look to the yellow wall, supine twist. So you've got a little extra help to wring yourself out. And it certainly helps to scoot your bottom hip closer towards the yellow wall so that your whole back can be in contact with the floor. Bring your knees back together and switch. Left leg on top, across at the knees, and take your knees over to the yellow wall and look to the purple wall. So the goal is to have both of your shoulder blades down onto the ground, but you're not forcing your left shoulder blade down. You just take a good long exhale and melt it to the ground. Come back to center, hug your knees into your chest. Give them a good squeeze. You've got like another minute to take any last little wiggling around that you need to do before Shavasana. So a lot of you have a block. Maybe that pose is fish pose. Maybe you just want supine twist again, or you want to roll around on your back a little bit more. And if you're thinking, I don't really know what I want to do, you're probably just ready for Shavasana. So those of you who are taking fish, make sure that your block is, the bottom of your block's at the base of your rib cage, and the top of the block comes up between your shoulder blades. And then you want your head and your butt to be touching the ground at the same time. If your head's dangling in space, put your block on a lower setting. And for those of you who are like, I'm ready for Shavasana right now, everybody already has their cold stone up at the head of their mat, so you can use that whenever you want. Put it over your throat, put it on your chest or on your forehead between your eyebrows. You've got time, tons of time. And then you decide if you're in fish pose or doing something else and you're not quite to Shavasana yet. You decide when you're ready to move to Shavasana. If you're getting out of fish pose, you just roll off your block and move it out of the way. So when you're in your final resting pose, you have an opportunity to let your whole body soak up everything that you just did. All that hard work, all of the risks that you took, all the times that you stayed a little bit longer than you don't normally stay in a pose. You just soak it all up in the muscle and the bone. So be here, be still, and give your body that opportunity to soak up all your hard work. Be here and breathe. Take a long, slow breath in through your nose. Let it out through your mouth, just as long and slow. Long breath in, fill up, wiggle your fingers and your toes, and exhale through your mouth. Plant your feet on the earth and rock onto your right side. Pause for a moment, come back into your body, back into the space. And with your eyes still closed, press down and rise up. Take a comfortable seat. Inhale, reach your hands high overhead. Exhale, thumbs to your heart. We'll finish our class together with 3 rolling ohms. So as soon as you start your first one, or as soon as you end your first one, go right to your second. Take a deep breath in. Breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. The light within me honors and greatly respects the light within each one of you. Namaste. Awesome class, guys. Thanks for coming. So if anyone has any questions about 40 days we've got coming up, or Bring a Friend Week, or Caleb's class that I'm teaching next Saturday, let me know. Love to talk about it, all up at the front desk. And if you borrowed a block, make sure that you spray it off with some of that mat spray before you put it back. Have an awesome rest of your weekend.